Hi everyone. So morning. I'm actually here in this place in Taiwan, okay, which is also called the Republic of China. Not in China, but it's Taiwan. So this place called Jiayi County. This place called Alisan. So I just woke up really early just to see the sunrise around four something. Yeah, I woke up around actually around way early around three something. But I actually also slept pretty early yesterday night. So I just wanted to kind of make a really quick video before I check out in a while. Probably around maybe around 1 hour, 1 hour or so. And I wanted to actually talk a little bit more about something concerning what I've been doing in terms of the work of narcissistic healing from narcissistic abuse. And okay, I know that this is like something that I haven't been keeping up with, especially because I've been traveling, and it's really so therapeutic. And I just wanted to, get through to that point about how you can actually further uh, speed up your healing, and also, uh, yeah, elevate yourself just right after narcissistic abuse. So it just came across my mind that that this is the time of the year. Actually, the 9th of August was actually my youngest sister's birthday, but it's also considered the National Day or the National Day of Independence for Singapore. So I wanted to just talk a lot. I mean, today to me that day itself doesn't really mean so much. I can't say that I had the happiest time back in that country, but and I'm also looking into ways to leave and go somewhere else to develop what I think I was really meant to do, which I also want to do. But there's one point I kind of realized this. Yesterday night I was thinking, and I thought about it, and I said, when the first thing we think about when we actually, um, when it comes to the anger, the pain, the trauma, or even remaining trauma bonds that we have from narcissistic abuse, and right in the aftermath after discard, this kind of things actually really remain with us for a while, and we really end up blaming not really the narcissist but ourselves. And I think we are being very much unfair to ourselves to gaslight ourselves. But I think the one thing I know is this: when now that I'm actually 7 years away from the whole thing, from discard, which was on 28th of August, not 28th of July 2016, I actually have a lot more peace within me, and I kind of realized this. That a lot of things that we went through, none of it is our fault. We know that it's not our fault. That nothing we do, nothing, absolutely nothing, even if we keep on fawning and placating a narcissist, it will not change the eventual outcome, which is actually discard. And even before discard, devaluation. Anything that the narcissist does is calculated to destroy you, to break your spirit. And then that's what I realized. And yesterday I was thinking, because I mean, I'm just trying to toss and turn in my bed, to this hotel, telling myself, how I'm gonna go and sleep. I got to sleep by, I tried sleeping around 8:30, but I fell asleep by 9 something. Yeah, I was really tired though from the traveling, and now I think I look better because I just woke up really early, and then there was a call, and I at least had about um, maybe about 7 hours of sleep, 6 to 7 hours of sleep. I mean, it was kind of disrupted in between everything, but on the whole, it's still okay. What I just want to really get back to was the whole idea, that nothing is going to change with a narcissist. You can try so hard to fawn, to placate them, to do anything that you think will please them, make them happy. But after a while, you collapse in the end. So the end is actually inevitable. But um, I know that especially after 7 years away from this, now I can actually look back and tell myself, that I don't think it's not only not my fault, I know that everything has to do with the narcissist. Everything was planned. Uh, they were never friends to begin with. But that aside, there was something that I came to realize. I can realize yesterday night. You know that the thing is that when they say they uh, love you or like you, it's not true. Okay. The thing is this, because they have an issue within themselves that they have, when they idolize you, the beginning when everything seems so glowing, it's not that they are in love with you or that they like you, but they like what they can get out of you. They have an idea of you, and the idea of you is a fantasy. It's a false image. Yeah, it's a false image. It's not real. And because it deep inside, we all know that it's not a real image. That the thing that they think or expect of you, and when they realize that you're just as human as anyone else, that is actually when the discard, not the discard, the devaluation, then the discard starts. And the thing is this, it doesn't matter whether the devaluation was a long period or the short period, or whether this guy is just like in one moment or over a period, gradual period of time. The main thing is still this: nothing is real with them. And and the thing is, what do they exactly love about you or like about you? They don't really like you. They just like what they can get out of you. And because of that, okay, one other thing, okay, not only do they like what they can get out of you, the fact is this: they really actually really hate and despise you. They hate and despise you. Okay, I say that based on now I can look back and say, oh, I don't think that we were ever friends. And me and that narcissist in my life, we were never really friends to begin with. But um, or even the so-called dating period, whatever. But that the kind of thing that I think about when I was talking about it was this: um, they really hate you. Okay, they hate you because of you, on account of who you are, but also regardless of who you are. Okay, so I say this because especially back then, that I think I realized that I didn't realize then back then it was a deal breaker, it was a red flag. But now I look back, I know it's a red flag, and I have been applying it religiously to anyone I meet, even new friends, new acquaintances. That I know that if another person has this kind of thing, I don't care whether people say that. I'm not giving people chances regardless of differences in character. I know that this is not something that I'm going to just settle down for. Okay, I'm just give you one example. The one major red flag or deal breaker for me is actually, in this case, most people will know that I have spent some time, I had spent some time in Korea, and I've been there like countless times in South Korea. I speak the language fluently. I have very deep ties, not necessarily in terms of family, but in terms of my friends and everything. My best friend is actually Korean. And the thing is this: when you are so closely tied to a place, yeah, why do they keep on trying to attack that very thing that you are very closely tied with? That ex-narcissist 7 years ago kept on criticizing Koreans and Korean culture non-stop. But if you were to ask these people, have you ever been there before? No, obviously they haven't been there. And because they don't know any Koreans, they didn't know, and they don't know even now. How would they even be sure what they're saying is real? It's not real. It's just an image. They seem very much like competing with them, with the Koreans. And I don't get it, because you're saying all this right in front of me, and there I was back then in my trauma bonded state. I was always walking on eggshells. I was so scared that I would offend that person, and even if it's not that, I mean, just even if it's not as any dating partner or anything, it's just like a person. I was so scared. I actually did not mention anything. I didn't listen to music, Korean music. I didn't talk about Korean stuff for fear of getting criticized and witnessing narcissistic rage. Okay, this is really ridiculous. Now that I come to think about it, is this: uh, narcissists don't really actually care about you. And I said that before just now, that they don't really actually really like you. They really hate you. The thing is this: regardless of who you are, or in spite of who you are, and or even on account of who you are, they will always teach you as long as you are the target or the supply. And the truth then goes to this. It goes back to the next point that I'm going to talk about. They really don't want you to be happy. Okay, as long as they see you being you, being authentic, being the real you, who you are, they'll be angry. Okay, so that's really who they are. So nowadays I realize, especially after the discard, working on myself and everything, I don't really care much about whether the person likes me or not. In the past, I would have cared, but that I think I'm a pretty cool person that if a person thinks that I'm not, they don't like me, that they don't want to befriend me, or they have their own criticisms, they can say it to my face if they want to, but it doesn't mean that I have to accept that. And I mean, just like what the narcissist was always saying, some of it seems really ridiculous. But to put that aside, it just goes back to this whole thing. They don't want you to be yourself, to be the person who you are authentically, to have your own interests, your own thing. You only exist to as an extension of them. And this is not something that's going to fly with me right now. So to go back to the whole thing about me being deeply rooted in Korean culture, the thing is this. Now when I actually meet people, I don't really always suss them out, but that thing is this: when you are being yourself, you realize eventually that those people who are fake or who have their own particular peace which are not in aligned with yours, they will fall away automatically. And it's a good thing because that when I actually look at that red flag, which is the whole thing about the dislike of Korean culture, that it might actually bar me off from making some new friends, but I don't really care because that the person is this. If you can't accept you for who you are, and you're going to keep on criticizing what culture you are very tied to, what is the point of that friendship or the relationship or whatever nature of the interaction between you and them? It's not going to be very healthy. It's going to be extremely toxic, and I don't think we want that. Okay, so and actually another thing that I thought that was really cool was yesterday. I was thinking, even on the bus, I mean the bus, a shuttle bus, shuttle coach, from the top of the peak of Alisan where I was watching the sunrise, and then back. Something just struck my mind. I don't know how it just came about because I was thinking about the fact that narcissists hate you, uh, because of who you are, on account of who you are, or even despite who you are. Then doesn't it mean that we have to be ourselves? Okay, and then but if you were to just think about something else, the thing is this: for me, my Christian faith is actually what made me who I am. I'm sure I'll tell people honestly. I'm not a perfect person. There are times where I do things which are not very Christian, and I think that one thing that I did with that, being with that last, this was in fact a very non-Christian thing because the ex-narcissist is probably not only not a Christian but a very hardcore militant. I mean, they always claim that I believe in God, I'm actually agnostic, whatever, but they are not open-minded. Actually, they are really not open-minded. They are very hateful towards God and towards Christ. And nowadays I can't, like yesterday I was praying the Lord's Prayer again. After all this being tired, everything, I just started realizing, my faith made me who I am, and like it or not, people will have to accept it. Okay, so the thing is this: when I get accosted by people, sometimes I tell them, sorry, this is not the thing I'll do. It's against my values, my religious values. You realize that some people who don't respect boundaries, they'll become more aggressive. They'll attack you. They'll attack your faith. They'll do everything they can to make you back down and compromise. All the more this is a red flag, a sign that you are not to have you know, any kind of fellowship, anything, any kind of communication with them. Okay, so this is a real rambling and a rant that I was talking about. I've gone through a few points. But I think I'm actually going to get ready to check out soon. Yeah, it's actually what time is it now? It's actually about nearing 8. Yeah, yeah, 7:55. So you know, I have to check out because the bus that goes back to the city of Jiayi, where I can take the train down to Kaohsiung, is actually at 9:10. Yeah, I mean it's 1 hour. There's still quite a bit of time, and walking to the stop probably doesn't take more than 10 to 12 minutes. But even then, I think it's a good idea to do things early. Okay. I really wish everyone the best. It's a holiday, and yeah, and actually recently I just when I mean I'm kind of very thankful right now. I don't really care much for the day, this national day, but it's a holiday. I can travel and I can do things, and I really want to do some other stuff. That some dreams that I haven't really settled down to, but I want to get back doing to fulfilling them before I even turn 50. And Yeah, that's it for now, and I'll just to get going and have a good one. And just remember, be yourself, regardless of what people say. Okay, and if someone cannot accept that, that is a deal breaker, a red flag. That is not just something to overlook. Okay, okay. Thank you. Bye bye.